Hey, Mike.
Hello, Jeff.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
It's been quite a while. I've missed you. What's going on?
Yeah, I missed you too. Not much, honestly. Just kind of, doing life, I guess.
Yeah, what kind of things? What kind of things in life?
Uh, Mostly just working and going to the gym a lot and making content and playing games, I guess, a lot of the time. Just trying to, figure out what's going on with everything. But it's been a good process so far, I think.
Nice. Oh, real quick, I think OBS is having a fart over here.
Oh,
Hang
that
on.
is awesome. I love OBS.
Hey,
But
we're
do you
back. Technical difficulties are over. Sorry about that.
let's go. We're back.
So where did we leave off?
I don't remember actually. I think whatever was happening in my life
Yeah, let's get back
is
to that. What's going on in your life, Mike?
uh pretty much just working, going to the gym a lot at night cuz I work overnights right now. Uh Making content when I can.
Very cool.
Uh Usually daily, but not always daily. And the normal adult stuff, counting calories, getting jacked.
Don't I know that? Oh, I don't know about
Yeah.
that part, but I know about the counting calories.
Yeah. It's a whole process.
For sure,
Uh,
for sure. Well, it's been
but
quite a while, Mike, so why don't we reintroduce you here to the lovely people listening? So you were actually kind of a late addition in the Volatile Upgrade group. You weren't one of the original members, but
yeah,
we
that's right.
added you in Super Mario 3D World and Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Your first
Yes.
recording session was actually the second recording session of Sly Cooper, and
Yeah, I think episode 9, right? Or something like that.
episode 8, I think, or 7.
Yeah, one of
Um,
those.
yeah, and interestingly enough, like that episode came out after our Mario 3D World episode started, but chronologically, Sly Cooper was your first recording session. Do you have
Yeah.
any remembrance memories from that one?
Um, I actually kind of do. I remember when I first heard you guys recording, I wanted to join, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to join because I didn't want to intrude on your guys' thing. But you guys were pretty much just like, come play Sly Cooper with us. And up until that point, I had never even seen gameplay of Sly Cooper. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even really know what it was. And I remember as I played it with you guys, because I think we played through at least a good majority of the game when I was there. I don't know if we finished it with me there. I can't remember. But
I think you did.
it became one of my favorite games from that time period. Like those kinds of games like Ratchet and Clank or like Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Yeah, the
2. Like,
PlayStation 2 sort of generation, yeah.
yeah. And that became not just because I really liked the game, but because the experience of playing it with you guys made it even more fun.
Like,
And, finding all of the secrets. I forget, like the safes with the stuff in them. You had to find all of the collectibles to open the safe, and you would get like a new power. It was really fun.
right, a kind of progression as you go, and you find the clue bottles to get you into the safe to get you new power-ups, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun series. I really enjoyed watching that one. One of the few series that I was not a part of, actually. I tried to encourage the guys to kind of do recordings without me, but that didn't happen as much as I think I would have liked. But still,
Yeah.
very cool, very good series to get you started on. And then your very next one was Mario 3D World with me, Dan, and Ty. You remember that
Yeah.
chaos?
That definitely was very chaotic. I think we recorded that at my house, didn't we? Or
We
at least
sure did.
most of it.
We sure did. The bachelor pad
Yeah, the
with the
bachelor
giant
pad.
TV and the L-shaped couch. Man,
And the acoustics that just happened to be perfect for the mic we were using,
it was
the Blue
pretty
Yeti.
good. Yeah.
And I remember too that I I'm not sure what happened with the dehumidifier. I think it was just full and we didn't notice, but it was like super hot in the room and like super humid.
Yeah, I
And
remember that. What happened was we had to have the dehumidifier turned off during the recording session.
because it was
And
so loud.
and that was at least a 3 or 4 hour recording session from what I remember.
Yeah, it was very long. But we beat like the whole game, didn't we? During
We
that?
did. That was one of our longest playthroughs. 37 episodes, I believe. Yeah, we were there for quite a while. We did all that in 3 recording sessions, which is kind of
Dang.
impressive. I think we did that mostly because Dan was going to Europe that summer, and we had to beat the game like real quick.
Oh, that would make sense. I
Yeah,
can't remember if that was my junior year or senior year in high school. It was a while ago.
I believe it was just before your senior year, because Dan had just graduated that summer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And funny thing about that series, that was one of the only series, if not the only series, where you broke out your acoustical guitar and we all like ad-libbed a song.
Yeah. Funny enough, I don't remember that part at all.
Hopefully we can all work together and get through all this horrible weather, cause it's really snowy and gross. And there's something by this grave. Piece of toast.
Oh, I love
Cause that's
toast.
all that rhymes with gross that I can think of.
It was a good time. It actually sounded
Yeah.
pretty decent. Like you and Dan are awesome at like just ad-libbing songs.
Yeah, I definitely used to be better at ad-libbing songs.
Do
I
you
haven't
still-
done as much.
Do you still play your guitar?
Not as much. I kind of stopped enjoying it because a lot of the reason why I did it in the first place was, I've never been much of like a social person.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
I pretty much just played guitar and like sang a lot and all of that because, people liked it. And because people liked it, I could, hang out with more people, I guess, if that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was kind
activity.
of telling me, including like my family, like, oh, you're really good at this, you should do this, you should pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never really, I guess, as into it as everyone else around me was.
I see.
So once I started going out and exploring the world and like traveling, not the world, the US, traveling to different states and meeting new people and picking up new things, I just kind of stopped playing the guitar as much. And if it makes sense, I play this game, Sky, Children of the Light, where you can play an instrument in that game. And I play that more than I play the guitar. But I play
Wow.
like real songs in that game and stuff. So
Very cool.
I never really fell out of love with music. I just kind of fell out of love with the guitar specifically.
That's interesting. Yeah, I gotta say, you've always been musically inclined, and you were in our school. It was a very music-oriented school. I remember being part of like All-State, which is where like all the best singers of the state got together into one big choir and sung, and like there were musicals every every semester? I don't remember, but I know you were always part of those. A lot of music happening in our school, so yeah, I can see where that came from. Absolutely. But you've got a talent for it, if I may say.
Oh, thank you. I think a lot of people from that school had a lot of talent too. I just like, did I ever tell you I went to all nationals
No, I don't think you did.
for choir? Apparently, because it went like all state, or I think it went area all state. All county was below that, then all state, then all eastern, I
Mhm.
think. Then all nationals was like at the top. Then you had to audition. And me, And one girl from our class went to all nationals because we auditioned and we ended up making it, and we got to sing in the Grand Old Opry in Tennessee.
Wow. Yeah, if that doesn't
And
tell you just how music oriented our school was and how talented you are, that's there you go.
yeah. I have a
Still-
lot of good memories of school especially with you and Dan, because I was in the same choir class as you guys were, I think.
Yeah, like I graduated a year after you got into that choir because like you were 3 grades below me, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So like I was just on my way out as you were on your way in, but we had a little crossover there, yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the whole volatile upgrade thing. Kind of getting you introduced back here. What if any were some of your favorite memories from these episodes, from these recordings?
Oh, Sonic 06. The
Which we have
entire
playing
series.
in the background here, yeah.
Yeah. That game, by the way, I rewatched some of the episodes recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is about the game and just the channel, but I got so sucked into that series specifically and just watched like 17 episodes in a row and then looked at the clock and I was like, whoa.
It's one of our more watchable series, if I can say that. Because of a lot of our series, before our big break in 2016, a lot of our series were kind of, I don't want to say amateurish, but it was before we really, caught on and kind of got in the groove. Sonic 06 was one of our first recording sessions when I came back from Boston. And
Right.
I think that we really hit our stride with that one. That's a very watchable series.
Yeah. I think we did that one in my first apartment, right? I remember that being
We
the case.
did. I spent the night there, and we walked down to the local 7-Eleven and picked up some taquitos and just had a grand old evening. It was fun.
Yeah, I remember that being a fun evening.
Yeah.
I think too that Sonic 06 was one of the first real video games I ever played, besides like maybe an old Mario game.
Mhm.
And the story of that whole thing is in that series, but I haven't played that game in like 6 years, I think, since then, and I still remember like all of the little tricks in that game that I was.
That was one of your big games growing up, it sounds like.
Yeah, because it's like super broken, right?
Mhm.
But that never made it an unfun game or like a bad game for me. Because sure, the story is not good and, it's a glitchy mess.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's a video game and it's kind of just what you make it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like there's a lot of, glitches and things you can do, just breaking the engine, having fun with that. Like, as kids with frankly no time on our hands or all the time in the world on our hands, nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go ahead and just break the game? Like
Yeah.
there's so much to there's so much to do there to break it. It's fun.
And I think besides the Sonic 06 series, I swear, was there a time that I played Yoshi's Story with you
Yes.
for the Nintendo 64? Because I
Yoshi's
couldn't
Story.
find that one.
Yeah, that's still on our channel. It's that was one of the ones we recorded before our break in 2016. Another one of those ones that was recorded in your house at the time.
Oh,
the bachelor
really?
pad. Yeah.
Wow.
We got the N64 hooked up to your like 50-inch flat screen in there, sat on the L-shaped couch and just went to town. And
Yeah, that one was a fun one for sure. But
yeah,
I think that's just because I like Yoshi's Story.
yeah, you and Henry were the only other two on our channel that had any experience with that game, and I'm glad I chose you as the host to co-host with me because we had a great time. I love
Yeah,
Yoshi's
it was
Story.
super fun. I liked it a lot too. It was one of the few games that wasn't Sonic 06 that I grew up with after getting that one. I had a friend who had his own Nintendo 64 at the time, and he had games like Super Mario 64, like Lode Runner 3D, which I don't know if you know that one.
I don't know.
it's kind of good. But Yoshi's Story was one of those games. And when I was staying at his house, he left for some reason to go just do something else. And I just spent like the whole night playing Yoshi's Story.
That's awesome.
That was one of those games that I knew about before playing it with you on the channel, and it made it like really fun to record for it.
Yeah, and we went through the game and played it 4 times to get through every single level. And I think that we were both kind of getting tired of it at the end, but I still think that was worth doing.
Yeah.
And one little fun bit of trivia, Mike, is you have the special honor of being in 2 out of the 3 series that we have on the channel where I swore. I said a swear in in 2 or 3 episodes on our channel. And they were both in Sonic 06 and Yoshi's Story. One in Cuphead and one in Jurassic Park. Yeah. But
That's
yeah, you
really
have that
funny.
special honor. One of them is in a Yoshi game that I love. That was an intense moment.
Oh, what's up? Oh, great. Is this why it gets more difficult? Shit. Did you just say a swear? No. No.
I was gonna say, I remember you swearing at one point in Sonic 06. I just don't remember when. But it was a frustrating playthrough.
It was me making fun of Shadow because, like, sometimes he would fall off of the cliff and then he'd just go, "Damn, not here."
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, that was a fun time. Anything else? Any other memories that you have that you'd like to share?
I kind of just... Oh, actually, yeah. So I remember when we were recording for Sly Cooper, I had an iPad, like one of the original iPads.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the chairs at Dan's house were, like, super heavy and, like, antique. So I, like, scooched in the chair a little weird, and I heard a crunch under the chair.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I wonder what that was. And then I kept playing Sly Cooper. And after we finished like some of the recording, I looked down and the chair leg is just crunched into my iPad.
Oh no.
And when I picked it up, only half of the screen worked, because those things were like tanks for, Apple hardware.
Yeah.
And for like a year after that, I had half of an iPad to work with, and I just like used it.
Wow. You actually still used it. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Huh.
It still worked, except for that part of the screen. But even like just tapping that part of the screen that was dead, it would still work.
I wonder if you could have replaced that screen. I mean, probably being a broke high school student, like that wasn't really an option. But I wonder if that could have happened. Were circumstances a little different.
The thing I remember about that is that even though my iPad was like broken, I wasn't mad or upset because I was having fun recording.
Nice.
So
yeah, Sly Cooper conquers all, even a half-broken iPad.
Yeah, it was such a good game.
There was one other series that you were a part of that we haven't touched on yet, and that was our Super Smash Bros. For Wii U series.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You and I did a 4-parter, me versus you, the 2 best Smash Bros. Players in our group. And that was a heck of a lot of fun.
That was really fun. Your Yoshi was nuts. You're like the only Yoshi I've ever played that was really hard to beat.
I think it helps that he was buffed in Smash Bros. Wii U over what he was in Melee. Like, you're a Melee player, primarily. Yeah. I started on Brawl, if that tells you anything. But Wii U, I played a ton of that and got pretty solid at it. I wasn't competition tier, but I was pretty solid for being what most would call a casual player. I would definitely call it a casual player. But we had some tense matches there. And our last episode, Dan came in and he was like giving us like challenges, like you fight as this and you fight as that, or like you choose each other's characters. that kind of
Yeah,
backfired on him.
Nemesis round.
Yeah.
Nemesis round. Where
And
you
that kind of
pick each
backfired
other's-
on him because we both chose each other's best characters.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh man.
I wish that. So now, if I were to play that game, I'm pretty sure Charizard is a standalone character in that game, right?
Yes, he was.
I love Charizard to the point where if he's ever in any Smash game by himself, he's automatically my main now.
Wow.
And for Melee, there's a mod called Akanea, I think is what it's called, where they actually put Charizard and Sonic and Wolf and Lucas into Melee. And Charizard is like the coolest character ever put into Melee or any Smash game. So I wish that I mained him back then, because I feel like it would have been even more hype. But
Yeah, you were a
those were
Captain
very fun.
Falcon main, if I remember right. And
I-
Jigglypuff.
I don't remember what I mained, actually. I've swapped mains in platform fighters so often, but I think I played Captain Falcon because of the knee.
The
knee! The knee!
The knee!
Oh!
The knees! Knee! Knee! Knee!
I also remember playing Fox at one point, and like someone else. I don't remember who else, but I think if I were to pick a main right now that isn't Charizard, it's Ganondorf
Huh.
and or Falco for Melee.
Interesting. Yeah, Falco is one of those guys that you kind of just always see, so.
Yeah,
You can't
he's
blame me
very
there.
strong.
Hmm.
He's very popular too.
Well, I think that covers pretty much everything that we did on the channel together. But
Yeah.
I guess that kind of brings me to if there's anything that you could have done differently or that you would have had us do differently as a group, what do you think that would be? Or is there anything that you regret on the channel?
Well, one, I regret not trying to be in more of it and like just hang out more. But
Yeah.
I think if I were to do something differently, I would have been more in the moment about it. I guess, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it's really fun to look back on, but back during that time, you know, I was like an older teenager, right?
Mhm.
And I was having fun, but I wasn't really like, you know, soaking it all in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I probably would have been more, I guess, just like attentive and like in the moment, I guess. But
I can
other than-
understand that.
my time with the channel was a little more sparse. So, you know, I enjoyed it. I don't think I would have done much else different besides
Well-
try to be in it more.
Well, yeah, your time with the channel was a little sparse. You were in approximately 20% of the videos that we put on the channel, if my spreadsheet is to be believed. But you know
Yeah.
what? That makes the moments that you were there all the sweeter, and it was awesome to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys let me be in the Sly Cooper episodes and, you know, had me for more episodes after that. It was very fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I miss doing videos on the channel with all you guys. It's been roughly 3 years since our last upload, and that was our last. Actually, the last thing that we even did on this channel was my first PC build,
Wow.
which that was 3 years ago.
Dang.
And I remember getting on there with Henry. He helped me build it in that stream, and I remember asking him, "Hey Henry, when's the next podcast?" And he just chuckles. He goes, "Yeah, probably."
Yeah, probably.
And
That sounds
boy,
like
did that
Henry.
say it all. Boy, that did
Yeah.
say it all. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten to do any of those. One thing I do regret is not having you on any of those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
During that time, I just wasn't around during that time, I don't think.
yeah,
I was trying
and,
to figure my stuff out. It
and I
took
don't know
me
if
like
you-
it took me like 4 years to figure out how to like live. So I was figuring that out.
aren't we
during
all
that
kind of
entire
just still
time.
figuring it out?
Yeah. But I finally figured it out like right now. So
Nice.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
you know,
good.
You know, one of the reasons I really regret not having you on there is because you were there for our little joke of podcast upgrade in Super Mario 3D World. I don't know if you remember
Oh
that.
yeah, podcast upgrade. And then I forget what story I told, but I
Bocce
made up a
ball.
story. Yeah, bocce ball. That was actually kind of real though. Like I had a friend named Elijah in high school and I went to a party with him or something, and we played bocce ball. So that was all real, but I don't remember the rest of the story and how it went. But
That
I do remember podcast upgrade. That was a fun little side quest during the
Yeah, that
recording.
all happened because Dan, like we hit the record button and we're like, "Hey, welcome to the episode." And Daniel's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom."
Oh, yeah.
We're like, well, while he's doing that, I guess podcast upgrade. And then it
weren't you
actually
playing,
became something.
You were playing like a Captain Toad level or something.
Oh,
like
was that what it was? Oh
Yeah.
no, that was later. That was like later in the series that I did that Toad level again, and you guys were like, "All right, well we're bored, so time for podcast upgrade."
Yeah. I wonder if podcast upgrade could function in the current day. Like if we would be able to do something like that at some point.
Well, we tried and failed. The whole we did 12 podcasts, and they got like 20 views at most.
Oh, that's fair.
Um,
Podcasts are hard. You have to really push
yeah,
them.
because it's a very saturated medium. I think we did a pretty good job of it. I don't know if you've gone back and listened to any of them, but they're actually pretty solid.
I listened to some of them, I think, but they didn't stick with me as hard just because of when I watched them and like what I was focusing on during them.
Yeah.
So I'll have to rewatch them.
Yeah, I loved them. My favorite one by far is our episode on our gaming backlogs.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. And then my second favorite is the one where we talked about when we 100% complete a game, but mostly just because at the beginning we were kind of just talking about miscellaneous stuff. And one of the things we brought up was that whole Microsoft Xbox Series X fridge, if you remember that.
I don't remember that. What is that?
So there's the joke that the Series X, the Xbox of the current generation, looks like a refrigerator, like you know how the PlayStation 5 looks like a Wi-Fi router, and the Xbox looks like a refrigerator. Microsoft like glommed onto that sort of meme and actually released a refrigerator, and there's only like 5 of them or something like that, but oh, it was
That's
hilarious. Awesome. And I made the joke to Adam, like, I want one. Like, then I'll have an Xbox controller, an Xbox refrigerator, and still no Xbox console. Son, we have an
That's funny.
Xbox at home. The Xbox at home.
Yeah. That's
but
awesome.
I do regret not having you on for any of those. I think that would have been fun.
Yeah, I think it would have been fun too. For me, it was just wrong time, wrong place for where I was.
Yeah,
But
totally. And then it ended up kind of being wrong time for all of us. Like, the schedules just didn't work out, so we kind of canned it after 12 episodes.
That's understandable. But the cool thing about podcasts is it's always something that, if you find that schedules are working, then it's something that you can always just pick up again. Even if, it's not really a popular, well, if it's an oversaturated medium, not the opposite, like I was about to say. But even if it's an oversaturated medium, there's always... The thing I've realized about content, especially like right now, is there is an audience for everything. Like, anything you can think of, if you can make it into a series, there is an audience out there for you.
Totally.
So
I agree with that.
If you ever feel like you want to make a podcast again, it sounds like a great idea.
I've thought about doing podcasts, but like on my own channel, so that it would be like something that I have control of. But I'm not sure. Maybe. I love doing podcasts, so it's definitely not out of the question.
Yeah, I feel like you're just good at making content in general, though.
Well,
like
thanks.
I've seen your videos recently, especially your most recent one.
Yeah, the
And-
longest Yoshi's New Island retrospective that will ever be on YouTube.
Yeah. And a lot of the long what's the term?
Long form.
Long form content out there. Like I've watched videos that are like 8 hours long from like
Wow.
Quentin reviews and stuff. And when I watched your video, I love videos like that, and the way that you did it was so easy to follow because I've never played New World. And
Yeah.
even though I liked the kazoo music, I understand why everyone else doesn't.
Yeah.
You were able to like break open the game that I've never played before, and now I feel like I understand everything about it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I pretty much talked about everything, so
Yeah.
there's not much more to the game that I haven't covered. And I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
You know, you said something a few minutes ago that caught my attention, and I think it's a good transition. That there's an audience out there for every kind of content, and lately you've been putting out some different content. Tell me about what you've been up to lately on the YouTube and TikTok sphere.
So, the YouTube channel is more recent, but I run 2 channels, mostly the TikTok one though, where I go and I find a bouncy ball machine, right? Usually a bigger one, but right now in my area, whatever I can find. And I buy a ball and I rate it out of 10. And this started because I was having a super bad day one day, just like mental health, whatever. I won't delve into that too deep. But I went to the laundromat because I had to clean my laundry, and I bought a bouncy ball because they had a machine in there for that. Just, so I could walk around and like bounce it and think. And it was literally just a snap thought of what if I just like filmed myself buying a ball and I just like rated it and I just made a series.
Yeah.
It was never premeditated. Like I didn't take very long to put all the pieces together. I was just like, I'm just gonna film it and I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna see what happens.
Right.
Maybe I'll feel better or something.
I gotta say that it's one of the more interesting video concepts. Like, you sent me the first one, and I'm like, what is this? Like, a bouncy ball review? Huh. And then I watched another, and another, and another, and just until I eventually stumbled upon your tier list from season 1, where you're like, oh, what are my favorite top 10 bouncy balls? And I never thought I'd be interested in that. I'm like, yeah, what are Mike's favorite bouncy balls?
Yeah. And the cool thing is, as long as there's a bouncy ball machine, there's content. So I emptied the one in the laundromat by myself, and then I found another one in a store, and I went to that store and I was like, hey, can I film? And they were like, well, we're not going to say that you can, but we're also not going to tell you can't either. And like sometimes I go in there, and usually I film in bulk, so I'll buy like 6 or 7 unique ones. And all of the money, I spend $1 a piece on each of these bouncy balls, and I don't make any money from these. I'm just making these because I like the project.
Yeah.
But I've gotten like interesting looks from some of the employees, but they never stop me, and I'm always very discreet with it.
Yeah.
But a very interesting development that nobody that watches the show knows about yet. I actually got in contact with an Old Navy in my area that has a really cool machine in it. And I asked them if it was okay to film in there, and they said we have to talk to our media department. And I got a call saying that it was okay for me to film in there, so that will be season 3.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
You said
hopefully
Old
they
Navy?
have some good ones. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's an Old
Welcome
Navy
to
in my
Old
area.
Navy.
Yeah. But that's why I say if you have an idea and it's not like harmful and it's like you think it's a good idea, just try it, right?
Yeah.
My audience
there'll be
is
an audience
small,
for it.
but there's always an audience.
Yeah. And that's actually a really fascinating little niche that you got for yourself.
Thank you.
And like you said, as long as you can find a store with a bouncy ball machine, you got content to make. That's honestly really cool.
A little side tangent, I started branching into buying capsules with like collectible trinkets in them and
Like
making
gacha
episodes
machines
about
and that sort of
those.
thing.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
Huh.
people like those ones too. And somebody in my comments said a capsule is technically a ball, so it counts.
Doesn't bounce real well, but
Yeah, but
it will
holds
ball.
stuff. Yeah. But I really enjoy doing that. And
Yeah,
even
well-
if I don't make money from it, it's fun to do.
Well, I'll tell you this: like, if you ever find yourself in my neck of the woods, there's an ice cream store, or not an ice cream store, an ice cream shop, where they have a bouncy ball machine in the back that's a foosball machine as well as bouncy balls.
Oh,
So if you ever find
Extra
yourself up in
content.
my neck of the woods, let's do a collab or something.
let's go.
That could be
I
fun.
will definitely keep that in mind. With
Oh.
the Yoshi fanatic.
Yeah, that's me. Didn't you have? You mentioned that you had some channel that you were putting Sky videos on. I forget what the whole name of the game was.
Oh, yeah. So for Sky Children of the Light, or Sky Collidal, or however you say it, I did have a channel for that on TikTok where I made short form videos with like editing from the game. And the whole thing is that it's like a cozy game. So you can kind of just do whatever you want in it. But I kind of stopped, enjoying playing the game every day and
Gotcha.
trying to make content in the game, because I could think of a bunch of them, but they weren't getting a lot of views. And I kind of fell into the whole just making I get quote unquote lazy Sky content, where I'm just like, oh, very simple idea, but not really enjoying it that much anymore. Like, it kind of fell into like, I'm sort of just making it just because, like, I have a channel, right?
Gotcha.
So I actually made a video where I did a voice reveal unintentionally and was basically just like, hey, I don't really like posting on here anymore, so I'm not going to post anymore. And
Voice reveal. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, like, I'm not really enjoying the game or making content, so I'm just not going to do it. Go follow my Ball Guy 7 account if you want to.
Nice. Well, interesting. Cool to see that you're still making content. Yeah, so if you guys want to go check out Mike's channel, check out Ball Guy 7, or is it Ball Guy 77?
It's one of those. I think that it's both. My actual name is Ball Guy 7, but the channel is Ball Guy 77.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Well, either
I
way,
could
we'll
probably
leave a link for it in the description. So if you want to check out Mike's bouncy ball videos, go check it out.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy them, whoever goes to look at it.
Well, Mike, this has been a blast. Is there anything else you want to leave our fellow YouTube enjoyers with?
Do whatever makes you happy, as long as it's not hurting anyone, and take care of yourselves, because the world seems a little rough right now, but things will get better, I think, over time.
Well said, Mike. Well said.
And enjoy your time on the planet.
Yeah, that's right. As you get older, it goes faster. So,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, be in the moment. Enjoy every moment.
Agreed.
Well said.
And thank you for having me on and chatting with me. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time, Mike. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So, yeah. We'll see you around.
See you around. Have a good night.